Oh my god, hi. Welcome to Women's History Month. It's March. While looking up why March is Women's History Month, I literally could not find the answer other than the fact that International Women's Day is in March. From that singular day that started in 1911, it became a week and then became a month, similar to Black History Month. I couldn't not find any reason why it was in March other than it just is. Happy March. Happy Women's History Month. Women's History Month is so broad because every single culture has women in it. It's such a vast month that cannot be summed down into 31 days, a 31-minute video. It just can't. We all know that women are the backbone of society. Without women, the next generation could not exist, and no one would be there to raise the next generation. And women having to go through all the stages of adolescence into adulthood, into menopausal years, to have only specific years for childbearing means that women and women's purpose is more than just childbearing. If women's only purpose was childbearing, we would be fertile our entire lives. But we're not, because our value comes from our knowledge and our lived experience and our innate gifts that we have. That's not just making a baby. We've seen in history, time and time again, how women get just reduced down to a byline, to the men that they've produced, to so-and-so's wife, to so-and-so's mother, that women are never just the somebody. There's 1,000,001 reasons to have a Women's History Month, and that at its basis is why we need it, is because women are not just somebody's title, daughter, mother, sister, friend. Women are the somebody. And I'm tired of women having to belong to somebody else to be important. All that being said, how do you define a woman? A woman is whoever she says she is. I read 3 books in particular for Women's History Month, but I would comfortably say every month is Women's History Month to me, because I read almost exclusively books by women. Out of the 28 books I've read this year, 25 of them were written by women. The first book I read, The Risk It Takes to Bloom, On Life and Liberation by Raquel Willis. This was my memoir pick. This is my nonfiction pick. Oh my god, the sun is reflecting off of her. There you go. She's beautiful. Raquel Willis is a young trans activist who wrote a beautiful memoir about the risk it takes to be who you are and to stand up for who you are and to stand up for people that look like you. With Raquel being a Black trans woman, she is the most vulnerable of all of our marginalized communities. So her becoming who she is the most dangerous thing that she could possibly do. Her memoir was really stunning about how she grew up thinking that she was just gay, and then learning about drag, and then a gender nonconforming drag queen, and then finally realizing that she's trans and going through that journey and still fighting tooth and nail for LGBT rights, for Black rights in her communities that she was a part of, and the struggle that it was to be who she was at every stage inside of her family and not feeling accepted or beloved by her dad especially, and how sometimes it takes your father dying for you to be able to bloom. You need the fertilization of that, the security of knowing that he can't be mad at you to become who you are. And then it ended kind of with Trump's first inauguration and the women's marches then, and how most of the women wearing the pink pussy hats were white women, that white women were finally becoming part of a revolution because finally we were in trouble. Black women, Black people, trans people, LGBT people, everyone else had been in trouble since the dawn of this country. It felt like the people running these organizations were checking a diversity box and not actually being diverse and inclusive to women of color, to trans women, to women that didn't look like me. It was a very eye-opening read about how easy it's been for white women to take a back seat, to turn a blind eye to the patriarchy because we benefited the most from it until it stopped benefiting us, and how in the rearview mirror everyone else had been fighting the whole time and that we just finally woke up. It was our job to be awake the whole time. And Raquel definitely did not put up with that. And she spoke up for it, and she made sure to make a space for herself in places that had more people that looked like her and were actually listening to her. She spoke at like a women's march, and her mic got cut like way early, and how furious she was at that, because that shouldn't have happened. Someone literally took away her voice. They gave her an opportunity to speak so they could get a picture of her there, and then cut her mic off before her speech even was remotely finished. BS, all in all. I highly recommend checking out Raquel Willis and getting to know her and her story, because she is a phenomenal writer and activist and person. I wanted to especially draw attention to trans women during Women's History Month. Trans women are women. Obviously, it's in the fucking name. And trans women are the most powerful because becoming who you are is putting you at the most risk in this country because of the insane murder rates against trans women, because of the patriarchy and misogyny and transphobia, and that being the runners of this country, and still seeing femininity and womanhood as something worth fighting for, something worth dying for, something worth becoming, something that I inherited by luck of the draw, and something that my trans sister had to fight for. It reminds me that it is worth fighting for. Womanhood and femininity is worth having and worth being and worth doing, because it's the most beautiful thing in the whole world. Highly, highly, highly recommend The Risk It Takes to Bloom by Raquel Willis. And actually, this is coming out before Trans Day of Visibility. This is your sign to read a book by a trans woman for Women's History Month and Trans Day of Visibility. I literally could not tell you the immense struggle I had picking other books for Women's History Month when almost every single book on my TBR is written by a woman. Like, going through my book stack, I counted less than 10 books written by men on this whole shelf. 5 shelves, 20 books each, less than 10. So picking a book written by a woman for Women's History Month, you'd think would be so easy. But I love a theme. So to me, it had to be something not only written by a woman, but like representative of womanhood. A tall fucking order, I know! So I landed on 2 books that exist on opposite ends of the spectrum that I thought would just be fun and funny. I was looking for books, very briefly, that had 0 main characters that were male. 0 male characters at all would have been perfect. There are so many books written by men for men with only men characters in them that, like, we're reading about in English class and history class and are revered as, like, classics. And all the classics, like, written by women, center a man or have men in them. And I'm just sick of it. Like, I looked up on Goodreads, there's like 7 books that were written by men or whatever that don't have any female characters. And it's like Lord of the Flies, The Hobbit, classics, Treasure Island. And then I looked up ones that were written by women that have 0 male characters. No one's ever heard of any of them. Diabolical. What a tangent. Anyways, I landed on Peach Pit, which is an anthology, a collection of short stories about unsavory women, which is my favorite kind of woman. And I wanted to center women's wrongs. Sue me. This is just 16 short stories of, like, morally gray or morally bad women. And it was just great to read about. Like, the first one was called, like, The Fuckboy Museum. It's about this girl that just started murdering fuckboys. Hey, good for her. I wanted a good for her book. So this was it. Some of the short stories were not my favorite. Short stories and we have a tumultuous relationship because I want to read a book lickety split, as they say. But short stories, I feel like I can only read one, and then I need to, like, go do something else, and then read another, and then go do something else, and then read another one, and then go do something else. I can't just read, like, one after the other. And some of them were written in such a vague way. It was like, the mother did this, the daughter did this. They didn't have names. So, like, I get that on an artistic standpoint, but I just read 3 other short stories right before it, and my brain was cooked. Literally fried. But I didn't have anything else to do besides sit here and read this book. Anyways, that's just my issue with short stories. I liked most of them. So I gave it a 4 stars overall, because I liked them, because they were about women that could kill you. And do. And finally, we have Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. I picked this book because it was pitched as like a super type A doctor of astronomy went to Vegas and got married to a stranger. If that isn't girlhood, I don't know what is. So our main character, Grace, she has spent the last 11 years getting her doctorate in astronomy and working at a tea shop, and her father is a colonel from the army. And her mom and dad divorced when she was really young. She went to go live with her dad, like military base to military base. So she has just like really locked in, just been working nonstop for the last like decade. So the book opens with her in Vegas, waking up next to a stranger, wedding ring on her finger. Hilarious. Astronomy is a very white, male centered field, and Grace is a Black lesbian woman. So the field is already working against her. Her mentor has been like advocating for her and kind of grooming her to get this specific job at a specific place. And when she goes to the interview, it was just like not going well, and they were like microaggressing her to no end, that she just like left the middle of the interview and she just went to Vegas with her two best friends and got super drunk and got drunk married to a complete stranger. So she wakes up in an empty bed with a wedding ring on, a little key around her neck, and a note with a business card saying like, here's my podcast if you ever want to, talk to your wife again. This is me. Her wife literally just like fled in the night. Double hilarious. And Grace was just like, well, guess I'm married. What? Crazy. This book demands so much suspension of disbelief from reality because like literally everyone's okay with it. Everyone's just like, yeah, Grace is married. What can you do? No one suggests an annulment. No one suggests divorce. No one is suggesting anything other than just like, congrats. Oh my god. So she goes back to Portland and is like talking to her mentor and trying to get things settled. And it's just like not going well for her. So she just like finds a business card, finds her wife, and calls her up, and they start like chit chatting. And then she goes to spend the summer with her in New York. It was fun. It was silly. It required a little bit of whimsy and just believing that everyone in your life would be so okay with it if you went to Vegas and got married drunk and didn't tell anyone. Hilarious. A little kooky, crazy, bananas, but fun. And I thought it represented womanhood of like fitting into the mold of something and then just doing something utterly ridiculous. The only thing I didn't like was the audiobook narrator. I have been crocheting nonstop. I have a cramp in my thumb as I'm speaking. I needed something to listen to while I could crochet. So I got the audiobook, and I did not care for the audiobook narrator. It was not a good time. She just did not have any personality. It sounded like a robot. It was not very exciting. Anyways, honey girl, read it if you want to have a good time. And that's Women's History Month, wrapped up in a nice little bow. But for me, every month is Women's History Month because every book I read is written by a woman. Sorry, men wrote good books, I would read them. Anyways, women, I feel like, is it Jo March? I only read Little Women once, but that gift is just like, I just feel like women, they have heart and brains and a soul. And I feel like that, and I feel like it's been hard to see women that I've loved and respected shrink themselves down to something more palatable for the men in their lives. Women, please do not ever shrink yourself down for anyone. Be you to the fullest extent that you want to be. Everything's made up. Patriarchy is killing us. So the best way to survive is to be yourself and to be wholly whoever the fuck you are, and not let anyone else tell you who you are or what to be or what to do. You have the heart and the brains and the dreams to be and do whatever you want. So do it. So become it. Look at the women around you becoming who they want to be. No one is going to stop them. No one can stop you from becoming who you are. So celebrate it. That's what Women's History Month is about, is being allowed to be a woman because of the women that came before us and fought for our right to be free. I'm the first woman in my generation to be born with the right to have a bank account all my own, to be born with the right to get a loan on my own, to own land without needing anyone else's approval. Our mothers and grandmothers and sisters and aunts have all fought so hard for our right to be alive and to be free. Do not squander it. Anyways, let me hop off my soapbox. Next month is Arab American Heritage Month. So I've got a collection of 5 books here that I could read for next month. There's one I'm definitely going to read because it's the only nonfiction on this stack. And I'm going to read them all eventually. Drop your vote. The Skin and Its Girl. I should probably tell you what they're about. I can't process any new information right now. Based solely on vibes. The Skin and Its Girl. This one we are doing because it's the only nonfiction I picked up. Love is a Next Country. The Next Syrian Girl. Evil Eye. And Between Two Moons. So, drop your votes in the comments down below. And that's gonna be next month. Can't wait to see you next time. Okay, love you. Bye!